Gen Z and local news. Do they watch it? Do they read it? Do they listen to it? Well, the answer is yes, but it might be a little different than you think. We'll find out in 30 seconds.
Welcome to Corey's Local Marketing Minute, an enlightening and entertaining look at what's happening in local marketing. Corey's Minute is brought to you by AdCellerant. Why should you be working with AdCellerant? Here's CEO Brock Berry.
Hi, my name's Brock Berry, CEO and co-founder at AdCellerant. AdCellerant's total digital agency software solution, UI.marketing, is being leveraged by over 300 local media companies and ad agencies in 5 countries. We're proud that our team has landed on this year's Inc. 5000 list of fastest growing private companies for the 5th year in a row. If you're already partnering with AdCellerant, thank you. If not, reach out to us so we can get a conversation started today.
Learn more at adcellerant.com or book a demo by emailing info@adcellerant.com. And now, the shaman of local marketing, Corey Elliott.
Hey, what up, fam? Welcome to this dank video series. I'm so damn hip. Anyway, today we're going to talk about Gen Z and local news. And I'll try to keep my trendy Gen Z language to a minimum. I'm cutting edge, so. But before we get into it, do all that Gen Z trendy stuff like subscribe and like and engage. Leave a comment. All about engagement. Spoiler alert. Okay, Gen Z and local news. We just finished up a survey of over 300 Gen Zers all around local news, what it means, their consumption, yada yada yada, which is not a Gen Z term. And we want to share what we found. So let's list some findings, shall we? Okay, let's lay some groundwork to get to the good stuff. For this group, his oldest member is like 26. Local news is local news. We were concerned that local news or community news might mean something different for this generation. Maybe community news meant the community they belong to, an interest or a hobby. But no, local news is local news. So we're all on the same page there. But 43% consider local news to be about their hometown, as well as their local vicinity. So 2 locals. Remember that 50% of the response to this survey were between 20 and 23, so really concentrated right there. A lot of college students that would consider information from their hometown to be local news, in addition to where they're living. Now, how often do they check local news? So 57% at least once a week. Now, what subjects are they interested in? First of all, if you are not of this age, think about the time you were. For me, in 1990, what was important to you at that time? Let me show you the top 3. Now, I purposely left off the number 2 slot. So number 1 was weather. So 69% of Gen Zers said they're really interested in the weather. 61% said things to do. So what slid in here at number 2? Would you think like restaurants, bars, and clubs? You'd be wrong. TV shows, movies, entertainment? Wrong. Social issues? Nope. In the number 2 slot? Crime. And according to Gen Zers, at least the ones we talk to, there are a couple reasons for that. The culture they find themselves living in as very young adults, and the rise of so much crime-based entertainment, whether it be mystery podcasts or real crime on TV, kind of all around them. Some say they can't help but be sucked into it. I bring this up because the 22-year-old Corey would not have had this in his top 5, maybe 10. Bars, clubs, TV shows, and social issues, sure. Crime? Most interestingly, where did they get this information? Let's look at the top 6 answers. Tying at 5th are TikTok and Facebook. 42% of Gen Zers say, yep, get my local news there. 45% say websites, which is pretty general. So general, interesting that it's number 4. Number 3, Instagram, where a lot of Gen Zers tell us they turn to. But the top 2, this is where the meat is. 48% said television, which for some of you might be a really good thing to hear. Wow, 48% are getting their local news from TV. Well, there's another 48% up here. Word of mouth, friends, family. And when we dug into the why here, why do you say these? There's something a little bit more subtle going on. The Gen Zers who mentioned television told us the why is because it's just on. It's what's on in my parents' house. It's what's on in whatever home I'm staying in. It's just kind of in the air. And so I gather my news from that. In some respects, word of mouth functions the same way. Very convenient. But for a generation that grew up with social media, word of mouth doesn't necessarily mean physically in the same room talking to a friend. It can be shared social media posts. Another thing about word of mouth that came to the top and is important is credibility. A lot of Gen Zers trust information that comes from a peer before they trust information that comes from a local media source. It's not me saying it's them. And there are plenty of examples why, but we're running out of time in this video. But maybe I can share with you one more stat that kind of clears this up. And that is, preferred format of local news. So they gathered their local news from the ether, but when we asked, in what format do you prefer to get your local news? Here's what they said. Written formats and video, neck and neck for the top spot, 55%, 54%. Then photos at 40%, word of mouth at 32%. A lot of them told us that they might get snippets of stories from somewhere, but if they're really interested, they want to go read it for themselves or see a video. Side note, as long as those two formats have a lot of engagement underneath them, comments, different viewpoints, people going back and forth, that kind of engagement is darn near as valuable as the story itself. There's a lot more to unpack in this survey. I could talk about generations all day long. In fact, I think generational marketing really slaps. I don't think it's sus, and certainly not chuggy. Is it chuggy?
You've been watching Corey's Local Marketing Minute, sponsored by our friends at AdCellerant. Learn more at adcellerant.com. Remember, if you'd like to hear more of Corey's insights, check out the Local Marketing Trends podcast. Just Google Burrell Podcast or look for the podcast link on BurrellAssociates.com.